Famicom Detective Club The Missing Heir and Famicom Detective Club The Girl Who Stands Behind are two stories of wretched killings set in 1980s Japan. Both games have you playing as an assistant detective with the Utsugi Detective Agency, who is called in to help solve a murder. In The Missing Heir, you're hired by the butler of the allegedly cursed Ayashiro dynasty to investigate the questionable deaths surrounding the family's matriarch. In the prequel The Girl Who Stands Behind, a strangled student sends you to school to investigate the urban legend of a ghost that haunts its halls. It's important to note that while both games may look like visual novels, they are, at their core, adventure games, where the goal of each chapter is to properly interrogate everyone you can to advance the narrative. As you go through the story meeting and interviewing people, you'll have a changing set of questions you can ask, along with evidence you can present that you've picked up along the way. You can also scan the environments, think to yourself, and call upon other people in the scene should you need to speak with them. You're really going to have to pay attention to what these characters say, as the order you go through your questions, evidence, and other options is crucial. You might know what you want to ask each person, but you need to use logic and your limited options available to walk each person to the revelation that moves the story forward. Not only that, but you'll often have to select the same option multiple times in a row, as characters won't necessarily tell you everything the first time you ask them. If you just choose at random, you're going to find yourself stuck and possibly frustrated. The Famicom Disc Originals were released just 1 year apart, with The Girl Who Stands Behind getting a Super Famicom remake in 1998. Because I have not played any of those versions, it's tough to say why The Girl Who Stands Behind plays so much better than The Missing Heir, but it does. Or at the very least, it's written better. The menu options you have are more streamlined during interrogations, and the dialogue is written in a manner that makes it less likely you'll be stuck wondering what to do next. Both games feel dated by modern standards, but The Missing Heir has a nasty habit of presenting players with useless interrogation options and inner thoughts that can often be misleading on what you're supposed to be doing. Again, that's why it's crucial to listen to what everyone has to say. You'll also want to pay attention because, honestly, both stories are pretty good. The Missing Heir is a deep and winding tale that stretches in directions you might be able to see coming ahead of time, but still satisfying nonetheless. Even with the protagonist amnesia, something that usually solicits an eye roll out of me, plays well into the narrative. It's a surprisingly adult game for Nintendo, something you just don't see in its modern first-party titles. The same rings true for The Girl Who Stands Behind, which goes to some pretty dark places. Both games feature very concise dialogue, so don't expect a lot of expository prose from the people you question. As much as I like the pithiness of the writing, it doesn't always work in the game's favor, such as when the descriptions of objects in the background are a bit too sparse on the details. If you're wondering which order to play these in, I would suggest going in the order they released, if only because the prequel is a smoother and more succinct experience. Developer Mages deserves a lot of credit for updating the look and sound of these games to modern standards. Both Famicom Detective Club titles feature magnificent hand-drawn illustrations and just enough animation to give the characters life. Some of these backgrounds are absolutely outstanding, and many of the interior environments are rich with details. The soundtrack is a winner too, with your choice of arranged music created for these remakes or the score from the Famicom originals. You can also switch over to the Super Famicom soundtrack for The Girl Who Stands Behind. I was worried both of these games would only be considered good from a historic standpoint, that they would be celebrated solely due to their long-standing absence outside of Japan. But thankfully, both Famicom Detective Club games stand on their own, even 30 years after their initial release. These are two beautiful, gripping games that show the timelessness of a well-written mystery. For more written reviews, previews, features, and more, please check out Destructoid.com.